Hello and welcome to episode 14 of One Game at a Time. I'm your host as always, Seb O'Neill, joined by two of my very good friends, Alessio Carocci and David Grant. We'll start with you, David. David, what are you up to?
Oh well, I was playing cards with a couple of mates. They just popped round. But listen, guys, we're gonna have to stop it tonight. If you just yeah, just aye, we'll do it again next week. Sorry, I forgot about this. Yeah, no, I was just playing cards.
Telling to put
Okay, Alessio.
their wallet away now and time to the real stuff.
Alessio, how's
good.
your week been?
Yeah, it's been good. Another positive week for the Mount Barker as well, and finally off that bottom too. So we'll see how it goes from here.
Absolutely. As always, we'll start with our pick of the week. David, we'll start with you you're in costume.
I am in costume. I am in the costume of the Queen's Park Football Club, who are a Scottish Championship side formed in 1867, as if you guys didn't already know that. So this is my little local team. They play in the Championship, only get around, 800 fans along to the games, but have managed this week to secure their Championship status. They've avoided the relegation playoff. And it's amazing, just as you saw there, Seb, it's amazing to see all of the Queen's Park fans around Adelaide this week as I've been walking around, and I didn't realise there was so many of them. The guy on the left there, his name's Johnny. I bumped into him on a building site, as you can see, wearing his Queen's Park shirt. Couldn't believe it. And then a couple of kids on the right hand side there, as you can see as well, just out just enjoying the week and enjoying the fact that Queens have secured their Scottish Championship status, and there's a hot middle-aged guy in the middle there as well. The only Australian connection I've got that I can think of at this point in time is a guy named Will Bainham, who came over and played for a season or maybe 2 seasons for us 2 or 3 years ago, and is now playing for the Preston Lions over in the Victorian NPL. So that's my pick of the week. Queen's Park securing championship status, and great to see so many South Australians out there supporting the best club in the world.
In the world.
In the
Big
world.
claim. Big claim.
It's true.
Alessio, on to you for your pick.
Yeah, I was just going to mention Ipswich getting promoted to the Premier League for the first time in 22 years. And they've got a couple of Australians in that team as well, Massimo Luongo and Cameron Burgess. So there's some Socceroos as well, in fact. And yeah, Cameron Burgess scoring the winner in their 2-1 win, which secured them promotion over Coventry. They got that, and then they got another win on the weekend against Huddersfield. But yeah, it's fantastic to see, especially with such a young manager as well, 37 years old as well, which is quite astounding, knowing that there's probably some 37-year-olds still knocking about in the Premier League now. So it's good to see that as well. And yes, another new team, especially for me. I mean, I've never seen them in the Premier League, and I haven't seen much of them in general, but it's another big team for them to see what they can do in the Premier League.
Absolutely. 37, that's like, what, half your age, David? Something like that, I think?
Something like that, and it's also younger than Fabian Barbiero, isn't it?
Very, very true. Fair enough. My pick is the recent documentary that came out, Champions in May, about the 2016 Grand Final with Adelaide United. This documentary has been years in the making, from my knowledge, and for it to finally come out is a great thing to see. It's a long one. It's a good watch. I haven't actually finished it yet. I think I've got about half an hour left. Alessio, I believe you finished it. What have you thought of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's good flashback to the past, and good to see so many names in there as well. I mean, we were just talking about Fabian Barbiero. It showed one of his goals in the final series in the early days, I think 2008-9 of Adelaide United. So it goes to show like some of the heartbreak they had in the first few years, and probably that's where we're at right now in terms of final series and making it to the end of campaigns. But otherwise, yeah, it's just such good insight to see what it was like as well from the players that are still there now, like Isaias and Michael Moroni as well. Even some of the players like Marcelo Carusca, how influential he was back then. And yeah, it's just interesting to see where all these players are now and how big that moment was for them.
Were you guys were you too young? Did you go to the final that year at Adelaide Oval?
I did,
I
yeah.
remember what I watched on TV.
Yeah, I went. I was in there. I remember somebody telling me on my phone as well. They're saying, "Oh, they did a pan of the crowd and they said they saw me," but I don't know how true that was. But yeah, I wasn't too close to the field, and especially an oval pitch as well. It wasn't the best, but you could just you could hear how loud it was, and especially in the video footage as well, you could see how vocal it was for the bench as well.
Yeah, no, it was a memorable afternoon. We went along as a family, and we did feature very briefly as the camera panned at the end of the game while they were waiting for the trophy. I should dig that out for you, but it was a fantastic afternoon. It really was.
Absolutely. On to the rest of the show. We'll go through each game, starting with the results in State League 2. Going through them for you now. Seaford Rangers, a 1-0 loss at home to Eastern United. Mount Barker winning 3-2 against Gawler Eagles.
What?
Modbury Vista, a 1-0.
Is that a typo?
Unfortunately not. Modbury Vista, 1-0 win against Northern Demons. Adelaide University, 2-0 against Port Adelaide Pirates. Cove winning 5-1 over the Adelaide Hills Hawks. And Noarlunga United coming to a 3-2 defeat at home against Pontian Eagles. Let me guess where we want to start today.
His chest is a bit bigger this week, isn't it?
Right there. Well, obviously, someone of us can see my number. Obviously, the ref couldn't when he made the substitutions board. But yeah, I mean, we'll talk about some of the teams in all the leagues about their home form so far, and that was the message on the board. The first thing we saw there when we got there Saturday was, remember what happened here last time against Eastern a couple of weeks ago, and he said, "Oh, more of that, more of the same, more of that same energy, and just everyone working for each other." Came a bit closer than we expected, especially with how well we started as well. I think Seb's got a video of one of the goals that we scored as well, which just set us on our way, and we just thought, wow, if we can do something like this, then we can do anything in this game. Bit of a Torres-esque finish, that one. And our captain as well was quick to mention that it was a great assist from him from the corner flag, even though we were just expecting that Westy was just going to whip it back in there. But yeah, otherwise it was just a fantastic day for us. Another one at home, and did get a bit feisty near the end there. A couple of bookings that were received, and one that was quite dangerous on me, in fact. But otherwise, we had enough at the time, and even though we were 3-0 up, and they brought it back to 3-2 at about 15 to go. We just worked well as a team and just got another win. Unfortunately, as well, one of our players is out for a long time as well, and adding to our injury woes with our keeper James Clapp is doing his ACL, and now our left back is out for many weeks with a perforated kidney. Which is real unfortunate. Dying minutes of the game, had a clash with the keeper, and he's been in hospital all week till today. Still there now, and he's going to have to get surgery on that. But we just got another supporter in the grounds for us again, and hopefully we can do something against Pontian this week.
So, Seb, Alessio. So, does the result accurately reflect the game as a whole? A 3-2 win, was it close, or are you sort of saying that you guys really were streets ahead, and these two goals that were scored later in the game against you were against the run of play? Is that what you're kind of saying?
I probably not, actually. I would say that they were coming right back into it, and even some people at training this week were saying that we won 3-2, but we probably could have lost even at the end there. They missed quite a few opportunities that were quite big ones as well. But I think it's just a position we haven't found ourselves in, at least since I've been at the club, which is probably a week less than the coach had been there before. And I can't remember us being 3-0 up in a first-team game since then. So I think it was just a position we didn't know what it was like to be in. And we've had previous games, especially last year, I pictured it back to a game we were 2-0 up against Seaford in the 87th minute, and we ended up losing 3-2. So we were just saying, even at the end of the game, that they brought themselves back into it, but at least now we can say that this is a game we would have lost last year, and now we've actually taken steps forward to defend better as a team. But I would say it was quite an even game, to be fair, especially the second half.
So you'd be confident ahead of Punching Eagles next week then?
Yeah, I mean, that's another team we said it got ridiculous.
Don't make him give away his predictions yet. God.
Yeah, that's another team with ridiculous home form. If we played him at our place, I'd be putting 5s and 6s maybe. But yeah, when we're playing them away, it's tough, especially when they did us for 5s and 6s in pre-season.
So I guess that's us covered Mount Barker now, Seb.
Yeah, I'd say Alessio can sort of just shut up now. It's on to you now. Northern
Well, the only
Demons
thing-
ahead of their big cup game. Sorry, David, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, on you go. You're the host.
Northern Demons ahead of their big cup game, losing 1-0 to Mowbray Vista. Big pause in their form, I must say, as of late.
Yeah, I find Northern teams a little bit hard to pick in terms of how I think they're going to do from week to week. And I can't remember if I picked them this week or not, but I think I probably would have. So not a result that I was kind of expecting, I suppose. But as we look at the table, the top 4 sides all won this week. So that's Adelaide Uni, Cove. Cove had a big win over the Hawks. I think that was 5. Was that 5-1 that result? I haven't got it in front of me. I think it was a 5-1 game.
Yes, Cove won 5-1.
Yeah, and Ponting Eagles and Mowbray Vista all had wins, but there's now a 6-point gap between first and second. So Uni are starting to stretch away, and they've got Hawks this week. So you can only we're not doing predictions, so we won't go into that. But it looks like Adelaide Uni are going to start building up a gap that will become very difficult for anyone else to catch. But those top 4 sides, or the 4 sides that are in the top 4 spots now, all won last week. So form, I guess. Mowbray Vista haven't lost any of their last 5. You know, they've had 1 draw and 4 wins in their last 5. So they're a team that's on form as well. But they are 4th. They're a few points adrift.
Absolutely. Just one more thing before we move on to more. Alessio, I do remember you said Mount Barker, about Mount Barker. Your prediction for Mount Barker, the minimum, you said, I think, was finals.
I didn't say the minimum. I think I just said, like, I didn't put them in the title contention or top 4, but finals is like the bracket.
Okay. Would you still
So
believe?
that's top 6? Is that top 6? Finals?
Yeah.
Would you still say you can make finals?
I would still believe. I still think that anybody from 4th down is pretty much on the same wavelength at the moment. And I think that if you can see the table as well, it's pretty much probably 2 or 3 points between anyone from 6th down. 4th down. So I think those 5 and 6 spots, and I've talked to other coaches in this league, and they said it seems like that's the ones people are fighting for at the moment. I mean, the top 3 are pretty much secured. Be Vista or Demons to get that 4th spot, and then the last few would probably contest those other ones. So I'm still confident, but I think we need to put personally, I think we need to just put like a string of results together in back-to-back games rather than just 1 week good, 1 week bad, 1 week average, and then hit for 5. So.
On to the Women's State League for round 6. Western Strikers a 5-0 loss at home to Campbelltown. Adelaide Jaguars a 2-1 win over Elizabeth Grove. Fulham United losing 7-0 at home to South Adelaide in Ben Dale's big game. Mowbray Vista defeating Mowbray Jets in the derby 7-2, and Cove winning 11-0 over Croydon FC. Perhaps a few of the standouts there. I don't think I was expecting the Modbury derby to be as much of a blowout as it was. But also, David, good to see South Adelaide come out with a 7-0 win, of course, with Ben Dale, who you'll be debuting with lead commentary on Friday night.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. I've done a game with Dale before, many months ago.
Last year, with me.
Last year, yeah. I meant many months ago. So I'm looking forward to that. I've contacted Dale and let him know how anxious I am about everything, and he's assured me through a series of icons and emojis that everything will be cool, just like lots of thumbs up like that and so on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But yes, I was really pleased to see that result. They did get a win 2 weeks ago, and that was against. Oh, that was the Croydon game, of course. Sorry. So, but this is an important win for them, because they've taken on a Fulham side, albeit further down the table, but they've taken on a Fulham side that was coming off a win as well, albeit against Croydon, I think from memory. But yeah, no, big win for them, and hopefully they can carry that form on to their next game, which I think is Cove.
Alessio, just on probably those other two big ones, Mowbray Vista versus Mowbray Jets, that 7-2 in. Adelaide Jaguars coming out 2-1 over Elizabeth Grove.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I didn't expect that in the Mowbray derby at all, especially with both teams contesting so hotly top regions of the table. Obviously, Campbelltown continuing on their streak, which seems like their unassailable lead at the top of the table is going to continue, just like we're talking about Adelaide Uni in State League 2. But yeah, it's good to see another quite close game as well, which I know in the recent weeks we haven't seen too much in the Women's State League. So a 2-1 win is probably justified that both defences are doing the right thing as well.
Absolutely, and of course, that was a part of Female Football Week. We had plenty of events happening around the grounds, plenty of games around the place. So I hope that everyone was able to get down to a game if you were able to. It was fun. I was at a couple of WMPL games on Friday night, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and that was a great thing to be a part of. On to State League 1, Adelaide victory, 1-0 loss to Vipers. Cumberland and Adelaide Ammonia Cobras 1-1 draw. Sturt winning 2-1 over Salisbury United. Fulham a 1-0 win over West Adelaide. Adelaide Blue Eagles a 3-1 win over Western Strikers. And Playford 2-1 over West Torrens Burkhallow. Who wants to go with State League 1 as the fixtures and the results get a bit more interesting?
Yeah, the Burkhallow game, I think, was maybe a bit of a lost opportunity for them. It was at Playford, so it was an away game for Burkhallow, but a 2-1 loss for them, sitting in fourth against a side that's sitting in second, that would hurt. And that was a 6-pointer really, because if Burkhallow had won that, they'd have gone up to 19 points, and they would have actually gone above Playford. As it happens, there's now a 5-point gap between the two. So the top three sides, Blue Eagles, Playford and Fulham all won, but yeah, you've got the goals up. This is the wonders of modern technology, isn't it? Yeah, certainly. I reckon Burkhallow would be coming away from that feeling like they'd and Playford down to 10 men as well. But Burkhallow would be coming out of that feeling that a real opportunity lost for them.
Absolutely,
Goal.
as we
Yeah.
as we see the rest
one.
of these goals, as we see the rest of these goals go along. Alessio Sturt coming out with a 2-1 win against Salisbury and Vipers. Both of those two sides slowly getting off the bottom of the table.
Yeah, I mean, both of them getting some form now as well, and it was good to see the Sturt team again getting another win there at home. They did against West Adelaide there as well. And I think an interesting thing as well to see this week was the amount of red cards in quite a lot of the games. I mean,
yeah,
I was on Johnny's TV show earlier this week, and we're talking about in the Vipers win, the kid who scored the winner, Jordan Stephanopoulos, he came on at halftime, scored the goal in the 75th minute to win it, and then got a straight red in the 92nd minute for Vipers. But obviously in this Sturt game, it was Lachlan Duffy scoring his first goal in a couple of seasons as well since he's come back from his ACL injury. And in fact, it was 2 set pieces for Sturt that really won them the game there at home. There's another defender scoring for Salisbury, Matt Taylor, who's popped up with quite a few this season from centre back. He's on penalty duty as well, but as we see here, the late winner, and it was Lachlan Duffy who gets this touch into the keeper while Rogers scores the follow-up. But it was good to see for Sturt that they could continue a big win at home and getting most of their team back as well, which was good. But yeah, even the Blue Eagles Western Strikers game, another few red cards to a couple of players, Caleb Evans, and I can't remember the one who was for Western Strikers, but I knew that his red card was on Caleb Evans, who ended up getting sent off himself. So it just seems like a couple of teams are getting a bit feisty in these still the first half of the season, and you don't want to see too many players miss so many games to the rough challenges like that. But Western Strikers still put a good fight for themselves. Their veteran Adrian D'Alfonso getting on the score sheet again, which almost brought him back into the game at 2-1. But when you have the link up of Ricardo da Silva and Dante Cacciavallani, it's bound to happen that any opportunity they get, that one of them is going to assist the other. And Dante got the 2 from a Ricardo assist. So it was good.
It's interesting that Salisbury Inter, they now sit 7th, but they had such a good start. But when you look at their last 5 games there, they've had 4 losses and 1 win, but still sit in 7th spot. Still got 10 points and still only a few points, really 2 wins away from sort of 3rd or 4th. So their early good form has deserted them, but it's fortunate they had that early good form. Otherwise, they wouldn't be sitting up in 7th, would they? They'd be a bit further down the table than that.
Well, the same with West Adelaide. You see, they're 5 losses in a row now after they had such a good start with Katsayanis scoring so many goals. We talked about the injuries in the past now as well, but it just seems like they haven't been able to get off the mark. But possibly with a game against Vipers, who regained some form recently, but might be a team they're looking to beat.
As we look at that table, Adelaide Blue Eagles and Playford both equal top with 21 points, but Adelaide Blue Eagles edging out on 17 goal difference to 10 towards the bottom. Adelaide Victory sitting on 7 points with West Adelaide on 8 points as Sturt and Vipers have started to climb themselves off of the bottom of the table after what was a pretty poor start to the season. And Vipers and even Western Strikers were the 2 sides from memory that I think we all tipped them for relegation, if I'm not to be mistaken.
Yeah, I think we did.
I think so, yeah. But I mean, it just goes to show that the early half of the season form as well in all these leagues is they've finally some teams have got some form back together and took themselves out of those bottom 2 spots. And a couple of people who might have been relying on those teams to have poorer seasons have slipped up themselves and got themselves in those bottom 2 positions now.
Absolutely. That was an accident.
I thought that was just a big cheer for Alessio.
Yeah.
We'll go on to the WMPL here in South Australia, starting with on the Friday night. We had a few games. Salisbury Inter losing 3-0 to West Torrens Burkalla. Adelaide University 3-0 up against Metro United. Adelaide City losing the derby 4-0 to West Adelaide, courtesy of a Rachel Quigley hat-trick and Gemma McFarlane. Adelaide Comets a 4-0 win over Football SA, NTC, and Sturt Lions having a late penalty saved to deny them a 1-0 win against Flinders United. Again, another blowout and a derby. I expected it to be a lot closer. I think the derby last year at memory at Adelaide City was maybe about 3-0, and I think I remember Rachel Quigley scored a few. But with the form Adelaide City have been in, I don't think I expected it to be a 4-0.
No, I'd agree with you. It was a surprise to see that result. It wasn't a surprise that West Adelaide won, I don't think, but a 4-0 win was not something I don't think we were expecting. Sorry, just looking at the highlights. Alessio, rescue me.
Yeah, it wasn't the only derby this weekend as well. I was told that the Flinders and Sturt game was a little bit of a derby as well. I know both teams are quite new, but apparently maybe the location of both of them is both closest southern teams or something like that.
Yeah, they are quite close, those two.
Yeah, because I guess the Flinders team was part of the old Cumberland team, and that's a bit of a competition there as well. But yeah, that one looked like it was pretty stale in that most of that game. I mean, penalty save as well from Florence Russell, who was quite the Tallers woman. Is that what you call it? For the Sturt Lions women's team last year, and unfortunately, she hasn't got off the mark as she would have hoped in the WMPL. She's got 1 goal so far, but a late penalty in this game at 89th minute, 90th minute would have been in front of their home end as well. Would have been.
Must say that referee was pretty slow. I don't know who that was, but he was a slow one.
To award it. Was the penalty saved or was it missed? Oh, it was saved.
Saved.
Yep.
Yes. Just
yeah,
to
look,
clarify,
I mean, both.
We do know the referee. Just to clarify, we're allowed to make fun of him.
Are we? Okay, so the bottom, neither of the bottom 2 sides lost this week. So Sturt got that draw, and Adelaide Uni had a win as well. Well, not as well because Sturt drew, but Adelaide Uni had a win, albeit against Metro United, who are just above them. So Sturt versus Metro will be an interesting match this week. It's a bit of a bottom of the table clash, but it'll be interesting to see who can come out on top of that. Sturt will hoping to sort of bounce back from it. That would be a disappointment for them to miss out on getting a result there. against Flinders. So they'll
I
be
think
looking to bounce back against Metro, won't they?
I think the other big game is Bacala versus Comets as well. The top in the second and third there. All those teams are equal on points at the moment as well with West Adelaide. So, as we said in other previous leagues, that a big game like that's really going to create a gap at the top there. And they got identical form as well at the moment. So, yeah, it's really going to see who's really contending on it.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the table, it's quite fascinating. I don't think anybody would have really predicted how this has turned out 6 rounds in. Burkalla and Flinders third and fourth, probably not expected whatsoever. Inter not within the top four, only at sixth. NTC only just below them. Those two grand final sides sitting mid-table. It's strange. I think all the leagues are strange this year. I think we keep on saying it, but for good reason.
Yeah. Oh, most of the teams in that division have only won 2 games. They've played 6 rounds, and most of them have only won 2 of their games. Only the top 3 have won more than 2 games. There's a lot of draws in there as well. And Flinders United have only been up in this competition for the last 2 years, maybe. Did they
2
get
years,
promoted
their
2 years ago?
second year, I
Yeah,
believe.
second year up there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go another 4 or 5 rounds in and see if they're still sitting fourth.
Absolutely. On to the men's NPL, starting with Friday night. David and Alessio, your game, Campbelltown winning 2-0 over Adelaide Croatia Raiders. Modbury Jets a 2-1 win over FK Beograd late on. Para Hills a 0-0 draw with Adelaide Olympic. Metro 2-0 winners over South Adelaide. Adelaide United Youth versus Adelaide Comets a 1-1 draw at Service FM Stadium. And Croydon playing with 9 players in the end, defeating Adelaide City 1-0. Yeah, exactly. I don't know where to start with for this weekend.
I'll start with the game that David and I were on. Most of our predictions in the previous week, there's actually, I think, 2 or 3 of us had a Raiders win and others had a draw. But in my eyes, the whole game was quite dominated by Campbelltown. It was just bound for them to open the scoring, and they really just closed the game off within the first 10 minutes of the second half. And that was it for them, and they pretty much locked up shop and were starting to win some late fouls on Alex Mullen and showing some experience there to win some in front of the referee. We're getting some pushes in the back as well. But other than that, yeah, it seemed like the way that Raiders played probably wasn't as successful as they have at home. This pitch was quite big as well. It's probably some of the max dimensions of a first team pitch here in SA. And it just seemed like Campbelltown could just play way better on this, and they could exploit the areas that they would rather than a couple of the wide plays for Croatia Raiders probably didn't have their most memorable of games, and they probably didn't take as many chances with the width that they had if they could have the opportunity again. Otherwise, around the leagues, I was looking at the Modbury Beograd game, which was quite a hotly contested one right at the end there. A lot of people would have had Modbury, who were going into the week as the top of the table team, to probably dispatch of Beograd or get a big win at home there. But it took quite late in that game, and they got a penalty. And then the recently returning Joshua Hernandez scoring a screamer there to seems like he sealed all 3 points. And then Beograd got a really late goal from Koike, I think it was, for Beograd, who scored really late there and created a bit of havoc in the end there. But yeah, it was obviously a great ending to a game that you want to see there, and it's quite a big season they're having so far, Modbury Jets. Top of the league again. They've done this in a few previous seasons where they've batted against their average where most people would have expected them, but they seem to just keep doing it, especially with some of the outs they have as well. And bringing a player like Hernandez in, who was so influential in the final series last year, is a pleasant surprise to have for Morris Natali.
Absolutely. David, we had a 0-0 between Para Hills, a 2-0 win for Metro over South Adelaide. Either of those or the others catching your eye?
No, because this is like 3 or 4 days ago, and I can't remember what I did this morning. No, the game that stood out for me was the Campbelltown game. That one, obviously, when I was with Alessio, he's covered that already really well. Down towards the bottom of the table, it's starting to look very difficult for South Adelaide, Adelaide City, and even Beograd. They've only had 1 win in their last 5. And they were playing Modbury Jets, obviously, at the weekend. But that win that one win they've had in their last 5 was the Comets game back in round 5, so it's some time ago now. It'll start to get a bit difficult for these teams down near the bottom to get anything out of this season other than a relegation battle if their form doesn't improve or change.
They've got a tough task as well this Friday night, playing against a informed Metro Stars side at home.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really interesting to see. They had their players back this week as well in Buko, Abichu, a couple of others, Matt Dorber as well, who's recently been getting some game time and longer time. But yeah, it was quite silly second red there for Croydon as well. That player just came on at halftime as well, getting 2 quick yellows in succession and getting sent off. So maybe across the leagues, a couple of these coaches got to really think about who these players they're subbing on are. If they're going to make it the opportunity even worse for them to come back into the game. But otherwise, yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting battle against Metro. We're going to see in the predictions what we all think. But 7, 8 games in a row without a win is not going to be good sights for the Adelaide City fans. And you can already see on the Facebook comments that a few of them are disagreeing with what's going on as well.
They're not losing by a lot, though. They're only losing by a goal or two, aren't they? 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, those kind of score lines. So they're not far off the mark. It's not like they're getting beaten 4-0 every week.
Yeah, exactly. But I think
you
it's
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just think they really need to get some more attackers in or some proper number 9, something like that. Imports as well. You've got the windows open soon as well. You really got to provide some more competition in your squad as well. So see how it goes.
Very interesting to see how the rest of the table will shape out. Finally, last night we had some Australia Cup qualifying rounds played. Only the 2 other games we played next week. Campbelltown a 2-1 win over Cumberland and Modbury a 4-0 win over Croydon in the end. Alessio, you were at the Campbelltown game, which went right down to the wire.
Actually, I wasn't, but I got some footage, some training.
I thought
you... No, but I was at training and I got a few clips as well. And I was talking to Josh Murray as well before the game, and he's saying, "Yeah, I'm coming back into the team. I'm really gonna try and stake my claim as well with Mike Marino being quite on fire." And he 5 minutes into the game, stick it on him is the word you usually say, but good luck trying to save that if you're a keeper. But yeah, it was apparently they got into the game late at Cumberland and they really created some danger. And even talking to James Boffa today, he said that it was only just about that they got the win there, and they're probably a bit fatigued from so many Friday night fixtures and big games as well. And their squad's getting a little bit thinner with some injuries, suspensions. So it was good to see a couple of them come back, especially Josh Murray and Alessio Malisi.
Absolutely. And then that 4-0 win for Modbury over Croydon, David. Andre Carl sent off as well. Their goal scorer could be a big miss for them into the coming weeks.
Yeah, so does his sending off, that would apply, I presume, to league games? It's not just a cup?
I believe so.
If they get knocked out of the cup, then yeah, probably it would go to his next competitive game.
Mm.
Yeah. So that that will be a big loss. I don't know how many, would it be 2 weeks he would get for that? Not sure. But he's the league's top scorer just now, along with Ren Nagamatsu, or if not, he's certainly up there. And so having your top scorer unavailable because of a red card would has the potential to mess a little bit with your form, doesn't it? But not probably a surprise result. Modbury are on form just now, aren't they? And Croydon are sitting I don't know, what are they, about 6th or 7th on the table just now. So the result itself is probably not a surprise, but maybe I was a bit raised my eyebrows a little bit at the score line. Probably didn't expect it to be as much as 4-goal deficit. But it wasn't not really a shock, I suppose, that Modbury came out on top.
Yeah, it was Josh Hernandez got another goal in that game as well, which is good to see as well, because they've just obviously lost Jordan O'Doherty to a hamstring injury. So just to bring back another quality attacker like that straight back in, I mean, Adelaide City would be begging for somebody like that to score some goals as soon as they come back.
Absolutely. That's all of the results gone through for the last round. We'll now go through this coming week's fixtures one game at a time, starting with round 10 of State League 2. Alessio, I believe you're ready. We have Mark's predictions already.
Yeah, I'll
I
go through
believe.
and go through ours. Yeah.
So we'll start with State League 2, round 10. Northern Demons versus Eastern United. Of course, they'll have two games within a very short time span this next week. At Piri, I believe they'll win.
I go.
Yep.
Um, Northern Demons and Eastern. Yes, I'll go for Northern Demons win.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with you guys. No scoreline and go for a Demons win. But yeah, Mark's gone for a 3-1 Demons win as well.
Easy does it. Next up, Pontian Eagles versus Mount Barker United. Alessio, you might as well go first.
It's a very difficult one. Sure you all know that I'll never go against us unless we're playing against probably Adelaide Uni. And next time, that'll be a tough one to argue against. But they got great home form, Pontian. I'm going to go for a high-scoring draw. I think they're bound to score goals, but seeing as
12-all.
seeing their previous result against Noarlunga conceding 2 there, I'm going to go for a 2-all draw.
David,
Me.
are we on the same page?
Look, I honestly feel bad about punting against you, Alessio. You seem like a nice guy.
To be fair, I actually have gone for him. The weeks I have gone for him, I believe that he's actually won from memory.
Yeah.
But I'm not going for him this week, so it doesn't matter.
No, I don't. I mean,
whatever
I can't
you
see.
think.
I can't see Mount Barker beating Pontian Eagles away at all. And I really, please don't take it personally, but you're going to get beat.
So just Pontian, no scoreline?
Yeah, I'll go for a
For me, at
scoreline.
least.
I'll go 3-1. You guys are on it. You'll be on a bit of a high after that game. You'll get a goal, but I don't think. I think Pontian will get 2 or 3 against you. 3-1.
Yeah,
I'll go 4-1.
Yeah, it's not the best sight to see that they're the top scorer in all 3 leagues. Kashindi didn't score last week, so I'm sure he's bound to score quite soon. But Mark had a 3-2 win for Pontian in his prediction.
So no believers except for you. Cove versus Seaford Rangers, a southern derby in State League 2. I'll go for Cove 3-1.
I'll go for Cove as well. I'll go 4-1.
I'll go for Cove as well, and I'll go Cove 3-0. But yeah, Mark's gone Cove 3-1 as well.
Port Pirates versus Noarlunga United. I'll go for Pirates 2-0.
Is this at Port or is it at Noarlunga?
Yes. At Port Adelaide.
Oh, it's at Port Adelaide. I'll go for a draw in this one. 1-1.
I'll go for a Pirates 2-1 win. But yeah, Mark's gone for a draw 2-2 as well.
He likes being different. Adelaide Hills Hawks versus Adelaide University. I'll go for a 5-0 win for Adelaide Uni.
Again, I feel bad about. I feel bad because obviously it's another Hills team, and I don't like to go against them. And it's obviously a club I've played for in the past as well, so I've got that attachment. But I don't see the Hills Hawks scoring at all, and I can see Adelaide Uni getting 6. So 6-0 Adelaide Uni. 4-0 at half time, and then they'll take the foot off the gas.
Yeah, Mark's gone for a 4-0 Uni win. I reckon I'll go in between you guys. I'll go Uni 3-0.
The Hills have got to stick together, it seems. Gawler Eagles versus Modbury Vista in Gawler. I'll go for a Modbury 2-1 win.
When you go, Alessio, I can't even find the page.
I'll go for a Vista 3-1.
I'll go Vista as well, 2-0.
Mark's gone for a 2-0 as well to Vista.
Mark and I have picked very similar outcomes and scorelines.
Did you speak to him?
That's who I was playing cards with earlier.
Long way for him to come.
That's what you think. He lives next door.
Yeah, David's getting ready for Friday. He's already going down there.
Onto the WSL, Modbury Jets versus Western Strikers. I will back Modbury Jets to come back after their disappointing loss last week to Vista.
I'll go Modbury Jets as well.
I will go for... Sorry, Modbury Jets and who? Western Strikers. I'll go Modbury Jets too.
Adelaide Jaguars versus Modbury Vista. I'll go for Vista in this one.
I think I'll go Vista as well. Yeah.
I'll go for a draw. 2-2. Don't tell me. Mark's gone for a 2-2 draw too, isn't he?
He didn't put the women's results in his predictions.
Okay.
Campbelltown City versus Fulham United Campbelltown to continue their form.
Yeah, if I had a scoreline for this one, I'd say Campbelltown double digits. But just
Wow.
Yeah, I'll be diplomatic and just say Campbelltown will win this.
David's just going to be nice.
Yes.
South Adelaide versus Cove, another Southern derby. South Adelaide for me in this one.
Yes, I'm going to back.
Will you give Ben any tactical information before the game just to help him out?
No, I'm just going to say my new best friend, his team will win this game. South Adelaide to win this one.
Are they playing on Friday as well, or Saturday? I'm
playing
guessing?
on the Saturday. Yeah, Saturday.
I'll go South Adelaide win as well.
David hopes they're not playing on Friday, otherwise he's by himself down south.
No, they're playing on Saturday at 5:15 p.m. down at South Adelaide's ground.
And final game for the WSL, Croydon versus Elizabeth Grove. I'll go for Elizabeth Grove.
I'll go for Elizabeth Grove as well.
Yeah, matching as well, Elizabeth Grove.
On to round 10 of State League 1, starting with West Torrens Burkalla versus Fulham United. This one I think will be a little bit divisive. I'll go for Fulham in this one. 2-1.
On you go, Alessio.
Well, I'll just say that Mark's gone for a draw in this one as well, 2-2. But yeah, Burkalla and Fulham at Burkalla on a Friday night. Draw does seem like it would be the best. I reckon I'll go for a draw in this one as well.
I might go for a Burkalla win, but a very narrow one, just 1-0.
Cumberland United versus Adelaide Victory. I'll go for Cumberland at home, 3-0.
I'll go for Cumberland 4-2.
Big chance for Adelaide Victory to jump up the table if they win this one, but against the Cumberland, I don't think it's the team they're going to get the result. Just speaking out loud here, I'm going to go for Cumberland.
Western Strikers versus Sturt Lions. I'll go for Sturt 3-2-0.
3-2-0.
3-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0.
Yeah, I'm going to go... Yeah, Sturt 2-1 for me, this one.
I'm going to go for a draw in this one, 2-2.
Mark's got a 1-1 draw for this one.
Salisbury United versus Playford. Who is on the train? Because I've actually gotten off the train for this week.
He stopped off on the Mount Barker stop, it looks like.
I would say a 3-1 win for Playford.
Salisbury Inter are really hard to predict, aren't they?
United.
They had that
Salisbury United.
Salisbury United, yeah. What did I say?
Salisbury
Inter.
Inter.
Oh, did I? Salisbury Inter. I'm still in the women's comp. They're hard to predict, Salisbury United, aren't they? They beat Blue Eagles 3-2, didn't they, a couple of weeks ago? And Playford did slip up against Vipers a few weeks ago as well. But I don't think there'll be an upset here. I think this will be a Playford win, 2-0.
I'm going to go Playford 4-1.
4-1, that's a
Very
big one.
interesting. Yeah. West Adelaide versus Vipers FC. Two teams towards the bottom of the table. I'll go for Vipers to continue their form. 2-0.
I'm with you, Seb. I think Vipers are on a bit of a roll. They've won 3 in a row. I think they'll get 4 in a row against an Adelaide City, an Adelaide United, a West Adelaide side that is not in form. So it's a Vipers win for me, 2-1.
Yeah, I was going to about to say the same thing. Vipers 2-1 for me as well. Mark's going a 1-1 draw in this.
And finally, for SL1, Adelaide Cobras versus Adelaide Blue Eagles. Cobras, as always, on a Saturday night. I don't think they know another time of the week to play football. But I'll go for Blue Eagles. 3-0.
I'm going to back Blue Eagles as well, but just 2-0.
I'm going to go what seems to be like the favourite scoreline for Blue Eagles, 3-1 win.
Easy does it on to the WMPL for round 7, starting with Football SA NTC versus Adelaide City. I'll go for Adelaide City for this one. I'm actually commentating this game on the weekend, I should say, just in case anyone's interested. Feel free to
I
join.
think I'll go for Adelaide City as well in this one.
I'm going to go for Adelaide City as well to bounce back from the disappointment of their result against West Adelaide. And I'll pick a 2-0 scoreline.
And another one of my games this weekend, West Adelaide versus Adelaide University, back-to-back, the doubleheader on the Friday night. I'll go for West Adelaide in this one.
Yeah, I would say this is two teams opposite ends of the table. I think it might be a comfortable win for West Adelaide again.
Yep, I'll say West Adelaide. I'll say 4-0.
Flinders United versus Salisbury Inter. Very interesting one, I think, in my opinion. Two teams that this time last year are in different positions but the same, if that makes sense. Yeah, but I'll go for Flinders at the Athletic Stadium.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Flinders, keeping their form. They're still undefeated in quite a few games now. I'm going to give it to them. Also, just as you said that where the game's played, I found it interesting today that the West Adelaide men's versus Vipers game is at Service FM grass pitch, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, I think it's a West Adelaide home game, but you rarely see, I guess, State League 1 teams taking that pitch as their main senior team pitch. So that'd be an interesting one.
Yeah. Did you say David? I don't remember if you said. No, you didn't say. Say it.
Flinders. I don't think I did, but I'm going to go for Flinders.
Adelaide Comets versus West Torrens Burkalla. I'll go for Burkalla in the upset for this one. The actual upset.
This is a big game, this one, isn't
It's
it?
huge. It's huge, yeah.
I think Burkalla's defence will be the difference. They've conceded fewer goals than Comets. Comets are sometimes a little bit leaky at the back. So I'm going to go for an upset as well. I'm going to pick Burkalla to beat Comets in this one. It'll be low scoring. It'll only be 1-0.
I'm going to go with the upset to your upsets and go with a Comets win. Narrow as well.
Last up for the WMPL, Metro versus Sturt. I'll go for Metro at this one at TK Shutter.
I'm going to go for a draw in this one.
I'm going to go for. I really want Sturt to win because I know a few of them down there, and I want Sturt to win, and so I'm going to back
Doesn't work the
Sturt.
same with
It's
Mount
gonna,
Barker, though, does it?
no, no. I don't like to back against these teams. It's not, but I've got to catch up some ground because you guys are starting to get away from me a little bit in this tipping comp. And I think my flaw has been I've tried to pick up sets, and once you slip behind, it's really hard to get the points back, isn't it?
Get some
But you've still got to
scores.
you've got to pick a few upsets to get yourself back in. I'm going to go for a Sturt win in this one. No, I'm going to go for a draw, 1-1. 1-1.
On to round 10 of the Men's National Premier League, starting with South Adelaide versus Adelaide Olympic. David, your game with Ben going down south. Too far for me, that's why we sent you. I'll go for South Adelaide. 2-0.
I want to go for South Adelaide. I'm going to go for a draw again. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Mark also went for a 2-2 draw in this one. But I just seem like, both teams really like to concede, it seems. And talking to some South Adelaide defenders, they're pretty happy with how their attacking is going, but they just can't seem to hold on to results. But I'm going to go for a 3-2 Olympic win in this one.
Very interesting. Next up is Adelaide City versus Metro at City Park. Alessio, this is your game, I believe.
Yep. We're still waiting for my co-commentator, but I think it might be a player at this point, or it might be Connie. It depends how my search goes. But I'm probably going to go with a Metro win here. It just seems like with their form carrying into this and Adelaide City's negative form going into this, I think it's just one-way traffic. I'm going to go for a Metro win. 3-0, I guess, yeah.
Alessio, apologies again for sort of saying I would help you out on Friday and then not. But they've ordered me to go down south. I'm just a guy following orders. Sorry about that. But back to the game. I would agree with you. I think Metro Stars will have too much for an out-of-form Adelaide City side. But who'd have thought we'd be sitting here for round 9 or 10 and Adelaide City are staring at bottom spot if results elsewhere go against Adelaide City's favour, if you like. Because if City lose this, which I think they will, and South Adelaide win, or even if South Adelaide get a draw, oh no, the goal difference isn't enough. If South Adelaide win and Adelaide City lose, Adelaide City are bottom. So it's a big game for Adelaide City, but every week we say that for them. But I don't think they'll get anything against Metro Stars, who are second top and looking to keep in touch with Modbury Jets. So the scoreline will be 3-0 for Metro Stars.
Yeah, I think I'll go with a 4-0 the way of Metro for this one. Adelaide Comets versus Croydon. I'll go for a 2-2 draw. Oh no, I'll go for a 2-1 win for Comets.
No, write that down, Alessio. You said a 2-0 draw.
No, 2-1 for Comets.
Do you write that down?
I forgot.
I
forgot Andre Carl's. I forgot Andre Carl's suspended.
Yeah. Who got suspended?
That was what changed my thinking.
Andre Carl, yeah.
That was my thinking.
And
if Andre Carl was not suspended, would you have picked Croydon in this game then, Seb?
No, I would have picked a 2-2 draw.
Okay. I'm going to go for a Comet.
This is at Jets Cross, I think.
I'm going to go for a Comets win. 2-0.
I'm going to go for a Comets 3-0 for me.
Next up, Adelaide Croatia Raiders versus Modbury Jets. I'll go for a 3-2 win the way of Modbury. This actually seems like it'd be a very good game, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it would be a very good game as well. Mark's gone the same 3-2 scoreline to Modbury. I might even take it one step further, go 4-3 to Modbury.
Modbury Jets will win this They've both scored about the same number of goals. Mudbury Jets have only scored 23 goals, and Croatia Raiders have got 21. But the difference between the two is
Only.
the defence. Well, yeah, true. Fair enough. That's 3 goals a game, so or something like that. 2.5 goals a game. What I meant was they've only scored 2 goals more than Croatia Raiders, so they've scored 23, but Raiders have scored 21. In fact, Raiders' goal scoring record is quite good, so they'll get a couple, but they'll concede. I'm going to go for. Did you say 3-2? I'm going to go for that as well.
I said
I'm going to go
3-2,
for 3.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go for 3-2 for Mudbury Jets because I think Croatia Raiders are capable of scoring a few against them, but I don't think they'll win the game. 3-2.
Next up, Campbelltown versus Para Hills at Steve Woodcock Sports Centre. I'll go for a 2-2 draw.
Really?
Both of the looks on your faces.
I didn't see his.
I'm going bold.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, they have had quite a quick turnaround in games. Campbelltown, a Friday night, a Tuesday night, and now a Saturday. But I think they're just way too strong at home, and it proved again. 3 games at home now in a row. I think this is where they show that they're really looking for that league title. I'm going to give it to Campbelltown 3-1.
I can't see Parallels Knights scoring against Campbelltown.
Wow.
And I can see Campbelltown scoring 3, so 3-0 to Campbelltown.
Mark's gone 4-0 in this one.
Wow, so nobody agrees with me. That's great. FK Beograd versus Adelaide United Youth, my game for the weekend. I'll go for Adelaide United on this one. Unfortunately for myself, I think it'll be a 1-0. Which I hate to say.
Is this at Service FM or is this at Beograd?
Frank Mitchell.
I'm going to go for an Adelaide United win in this one, 3-0.
Ooh.
Thank you.
I'm going
What
to
did you say,
go.
Seb?
I said a 1-0.
I'm going to go.
Unfortunately for myself.
I'm going to go 2-1 Beograd. And Mark's gone a 2-2 draw in this.
I forgot to say as well, David, you've gone to South Adelaide on a Friday night. That normally means like a 3-2, a 4-3, something mental. So you better be ready.
I'm as unprepared as I usually am, to be honest. Absolutely bluffing it.
Finally, on to the Australia Cup games, which will happen next week. Adelaide Comets versus FK Beograd, the first one being played at Jack Smith Park, home of West Torrens Burkalla. I'll go for Comets to win this one 2-0.
Remember this one, it's cup game, so you can call extra time, penalties, etc.
I reckon in normal time.
And what was your score again?
2-0.
2-0.
Why is this being played at a neutral ground?
Probably
Comets
light.
don't have a home as well. Don't have a
They've
permanent
been
home.
using
and
Service
probably
FM though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's more curious than anything else. It doesn't have any bearing on my prediction that Comets will win this in 90 minutes and it'll be 2-0.
I'm going to go 3-1 Comets, normal time as well.
And finally, next Wednesday, pretty much, well, a week from now, this game will be underway. Adelaide Olympic versus Northern Demons at Apex Football Stadium. It's a difficult one. You've got a team that's near the bottom of the NPL and a team that has just been on a great cup run, to be honest. It's a tough one, and I don't want to go first.
Okay, well, I went along to watch Adelaide Olympic playing an earlier cup game when they played
They did
the
against
Sydney
MA Hawks.
Association Hawks, yeah. And Olympic won that, and I've seen them a couple of times since, and I think they'll be too strong for Northern Demons. But if they were playing a side that was maybe a bit further up, maybe a State League One side that was at the top of State League One, I would pick them. But because it's a side that has unpredictable form and is in State League Two, I'm going to go for an Adelaide Olympic win in the 90 minutes, but just 1-0.
I think for that reason, you saying them being in unpredictable form, yet also being on this cup run, I think they'll win it 1-0.
Demons 1-0, yeah.
Demons 1-0.
I think that I think that unpredictability will be.
Where's this been played? It's not up. It's down at Apex Park, you said, right? Down at
Yeah. So it was initially a home game for Northern Demons, but they had to get the fixture reversed.
I still think Olympic, but I reckon when we were we were doing predictions before for the earlier rounds, I think I picked MA Hawks to beat Olympic, and I just can't afford any more upsets not going my way because I need to keep in touch with you lot. I think I've got to play it safe, so I'm going to go with Olympic.
Yeah, I was going to go Olympic 2-1 win in extra time. So it gets like an extra point if you call.
Oh. So you're just making these rules up as you go along, Alessio. So there's extra points.
These are the cup rules. So
these are the cup rules that you've just come up with.
No, we had a last cup round as well. So it's
okay. What are the cup rules, Alessio?
Let me go back to my PDF. It has.
Okay. While you're doing that,
PDF.
if there's extra points for it be going to extra time, but there's no extra points if it doesn't, I might as well pick extra time, right?
No, so you get the correct result. Correct result is 1 point. Correct scoreline is still 3 points. But if you go the correct distance, that's an extra 1 point as well. So if you have if I have 2-1 Olympic here in extra time, and they do win 2-1 in extra time, that's 3 points for the correct scoreline, 1 point for the correct result, and 1 point for the correct distance.
Okay, I'm going to go for Adelaide Olympic to win this game 2-0 in extra time, but not penalties.
Yeah. So if Adelaide Olympic still win
so you've gone 0-0 at full time, and then they'll score 2 in extra time.
Yes.
Yeah. If Adelaide Olympic win the game in normal time, you just get 1 point. If they win like even 2-0 in normal time, you still just get 1 point. But if they win 2-0, extra points.
All right. I'll go Adelaide Olympic to win in extra time, 2-0. So it's nothing each at 90, and then they win. Oh god, that doesn't make sense either. Adelaide Olympic to win 2-0, 90 minutes. That's it.
Good that we got there in the end. Before we move on and finish up, speaking of that game between Adelaide Olympic, we do have an announcement, a person to come on and speak about that game. Connie Coimsis is here with us. Connie, how are you doing? You have something to tell us about this game at Apex Football Stadium?
Well, like I was at Dave's house about to play cards, and then you guys decided to do the show, so I've had to drive all the way back home, and now he's left there by himself with his cards.
It's all right, Connie. Your drink's still here, by the way.
Put it in the fridge for next time. Yeah, so on that long drive home, I did come up with some good news in regards to next Wednesday's fixture between Northern Demons and Adelaide Olympic. Can confirm that the game will be live streamed thanks to Sportscast Australia. Thanks to Seb for the graphic setup and the YouTube setup and everything he's done behind the scenes to make this run as smoothly as we can from our end. A massive thanks also goes to 3 sponsors that come on board. 2 of them are sponsors of Northern Demons in Men's Landport Piri and Pisani Accountants. And another one is a familiar sponsor across the WNPL platform. That's Go Sunny Solar, have also chipped in to make this game happen next Wednesday. Obviously, Northern Demons and myself have done a lot of work behind the scenes to get this across the line. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm probably going to have a guest co-commentator next Wednesday as well. I'll try to lock him in today, so hopefully he can come next Wednesday and join in. And Seb, you'll be there with me as well on the side there, and your work won't go unnoticed. You've done a lot behind the scenes to make this happen as well. So yeah, thanks.
Any clues as to who your guest co-commentator is?
Oh, if I give the clue, but I'm not very good at this. But if I tell you that he's one of my good mates and he's involved in football, we're probably about 500 people that are going to guess it straight away.
I was gonna say.
Can you say what colour kit he played in as a player?
He played in a few.
It's a professional team or a semi-professional team?
He played at NSL, A-League, played for Australia. He's one of them, and I'm hoping potentially to even get two and make this a really big occasion.
You're getting greedy.
Can I guess
Yeah,
that he
so
had an outlandish hairstyle when he was playing?
I think you know who we're talking about, mate. So don't give it away. Let everyone out there work it out for themselves. But yeah, look, Northern Demons deserve this. They've had to reverse the fixture, as everyone knows. So the least I could have done for them was stream it back so everyone can watch it in Port Pirie next week. And if you can't get to the game here in Adelaide, it's going to be there for everyone to watch. So give it one more crack, and if they get the result, they'll all be able to watch it on the FSA leagues next time around at Service FM, because they'll make it to the semi-finals. But yeah, two big games coming up next week. And I think I was listening to you earlier there, Dave. I think the reason the game between Comets and Beargrade's going to be played at Jack Smith, I reckon that's got to do with probably training schedules at Service FM or something like that.
Yeah.
So let's put it this way: we've got 4 teams that are playing, and one of them's playing at their home ground, but they're not playing as the home team. So, beauty of the cup.
I want to now that I've been caught up in the magic of this moment, and
The magic of the cup.
the magic
is
of
what
the
they
cup.
call
I
it,
want to
David.
change my pick. I think I want to change my pick after all of that.
If it's to an upset, I'll let you. If it's not, then you can't change.
Oh yeah, no, I mean
No,
to an
he wants to
upset.
change it to Adelaide Olympic 1-0.
Yeah, you know
I want to change it. Oh, you mean the outcome? No, I'm going to change it because I've been caught up in the romance.
I've
Connie
excited
has
him
just-
too much.
Connie's swept me off my feet. I'm going to change it, and I'm going to pick a Northern Demons win, but I think it will go to penalties.
Making my job stressful, David. God. I don't even know how to do penalties.
See, I'm lucky because I'm not going to make my pick until after the weekend's games. So I'll get an extra few days, and then I'll do my post for the 2 games. The other thing as well is the Northern Demons faithful, even though this game is being streamed back to Port Pirie, they are organising, as far as I know, they're trying to organise a big bus to come down as well, so that they can bring people with them and watch the game, because I know it's created a lot of excitement so far for them over the previous couple of games. So they're thriving on it while it's rolling. I know it'll be a tremendous achievement for the club to get to the semi-final and take on what looks, going to be an NPL side if they do get through. So a big few weeks coming up, and I'm sure that the boys will obviously cope with the moment when it comes. I did manage to speak to Omar this week about it, so there's no expectation on it for them, but it's something that they're going to embrace when the time comes, which is probably the best way to go about it when you're up against the odds.
Yeah, that's good. I'm excited for you. Mind you,
That's
they're
enough
playing
for
an
me for
NPL
tonight.
side even if
So
they're playing an NPL side even if they don't get through.
that's right, yeah. So
But that's
nobody
really
expected them
good.
to beat the first NPL side. So yeah, it's just massive for them to be at this stage of the cup.
And it's great. That's great that those agencies have got on board with sponsorship as well. If you wanted to give them another shout out, just go Sunny Solar and who else?
Yeah, so Sunny Solar, obviously everyone knows Go Sunny Solar. They're a WNPL sponsor, but the other 2 are Northern Demons club sponsors already, so they've already done their fair share throughout this year and ongoing. Just off the top of my head, those two have been sponsors of the club for probably 10 to 15 years. So for them to be kind enough when I did reach out to them to donate, and they didn't have to. They could have said no, we've done our part, but they were more than willing. And obviously, Sportscast Australia, who does all the NPL streams, are going to be streaming the game for us. So thanks to Andrew from Sportscast Australia.
Absolutely. Cannot wait for next Wednesday at Apex Football Stadium. If you can't make it there at 7:30, we'll be live streamed on YouTube for all to see. Got plenty of viewers last time around. I'm sure plenty of people will be eager to watch this one as well.
Won't be too many people at training either, so I'm sure a lot of people come down on a Wednesday to watch
true. Absolutely. That's pretty much it from us today. I guess we look forward to the weekend. All our games, I think we're all on games this weekend, if I'm not to be mistaken.
I think so. Is Connie on? Yeah.
Con's with me.
I'm pretty sure I'm with you, Seb, on Saturday, and double check with Jaden earlier today. So I think I'm with Alessio on Friday night as well.
We're gonna confirm that. I was just waiting for a text, but we got the mic, so it could be two people if they needed as well.
Well, yeah, you know what? I like this cameo because every time I'm on the show for the whole duration, it goes for over 2 hours, and it's only gone for an hour and 15 minutes tonight. So I'm going to leave, and you wrap it up, and I'll see you guys on the weekend.
Thank you, Con. It was great to have you, and yes, we look forward to hearing and watching next Wednesday. Well, that's pretty much us for this week. Anything else to add, boys, before we finish off completely?
I'm all spoke out.
Make sure, I think Mark always mentions the TG goalkeeping gloves
TJ
as well.
goalkeeping, yes.
TJ goalkeeping. So Tassie Breeden, I think, over there has that. So make sure you always go to him for your goalkeeping needs. And obviously anyone who wants to sponsor the show as well. And make sure you'll go out to the local football on the weekend. There's no more A-League, so there's no more excuses. We're not following any of those eastern side teams. So everyone come out to the local football.
Absolutely. Thank you two for joining me. And thank you for listening, watching, however you consume this podcast. Make sure to rate on Spotify, subscribe, follow on Facebook, Twitter, all the other things, everything. Just do the best that you can, whatever it is. Thank you for joining me, boys. I'll look forward to seeing you once again this weekend and next week to talk more football.
Cheers for having us again.
Cool.
Next week.
Yep, thanks again. See you later.